Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. So, short recap, seeing as a couple of things have changed. First and foremost, if you're joining me live, I did actually record one of these offline. But so what I want to do is, what I want to say is, I've actually gone to Raedric's Hold. I figured out where it was. Apparently, when you're on a map, and there's like an exit out of the map, you have to make sure if it's on a road, because if you take a road one way or another, the road may actually take you to a new location. So follow roads. It actually matters in this game, which is weird for me, and I'm not used to it, but it's a nice touch anyway. But so what I want to do, what I want to do is get into Raedric's Hold, take him out, and currently I've actually done part of that. We've already cleared, as far as I've done, we've actually cleared out most of the castle of guards. I mean, we've got these two guys, Cletlin and Nudwin. Interesting. They're new, actually. Okay, but so I've reorganized the party as well. So we've got, the standard people. We actually have a new member who's a mercenary I just hired. She's a rogue. And she's specifically for, like, sneak attacking people and stuff like that. But, yes. I noticed while I was running around in the dungeon in Raedric's Hold. By the way, we're taking the frontal approach at this point because I've done everything else. Literally, those were the only two guys remaining alive in here. Oh. See you, Shadow. And let's keep going. So, those were the two guys remaining that I even had access to. We've cleared. I have cleared this place out handily. But so we brought the rogue on as a result of not being able to pick certain locks. In fact, nobody in my entire team had any levels in mechanics, so she is purely here for mechanics. And at some point, I'm actually going to admit to this. I'm actually probably going to sit down. There's a mod that you can download for this game that lets you change things. What I'm probably going to do is sit down and restart all of the characters, rebuild them from scratch. Specifically the main character. I think I'm going to reroll him as a monk. Paladins are kind of neat, but not super useful. Reroll him as a monk because, well, fisting. And reroll some of the other characters because I've made dumb decisions along the way. It's hard to tell. Anyway. So we've got this whole area up here. So this is like the priest quarters, and originally it was filled with a bunch of priests, and you could sneak past them with robes and stuff, which is kind of neat, yeah? Well, turns out there's no real reason to do so, because I thought you could diplomacy your way into talking to the leader. Turns out it does not actually work that way. So, we murdered everybody, still didn't get any keys, so this time around, this time around, we are going to, we murdered everybody, and now we're going to pick the locks and stuff like that. Okay. But now we actually have somebody that can unlock all of these things, so, onwards, and game is paused. Perfect. Apparently you get a lot of experience for that. Oh, does this brings me straight to Raedric, doesn't it? It does. Yeah, see, the thing is you couldn't do diplomacy with it, unfortunately. As far as I can tell, there was no diplomacy to be done because there was nobody to talk to. It was just a bunch of, like, generic dudes. What you need to do is get in here. And, like, there's the secret chamber looking thing, but that didn't do us any good. So, Nedmar, this frail old priest, is hunched over a table, surrounded by scattered scrolls and parchment, examining their contents with the aid of a thick monocle. He glances up as you approach, blinking rheumy eyes. More visitors, then. You're not one of the acolytes, or the guards, for that matter. His voice is a dry, quiet rasp. What makes you an intruder which makes you an intruder at the least? Kolsk put you up to this, I suppose? Yes, that would be him, sending young men to dash themselves against the keep's defenses. He shakes his head. Would that my servants could draw such fervor. Still, you are here. What do you want? Osiris sends her regards. See, you don't seem to think much of this Kolsk fellow. It's not that. I simply disagree with his methods. We have known each other for a long time. I remember him as a young lad. Makes it all the harder to see him act this way. Impulsively, blindly, Nedmar frowns. He and his followers have brought more harm than good, for all his good intentions. Let's see. Oh, if you're in stealth, you can find secret loot. I need to do that more often, especially now that I actually have a thief that might be good at it. Anyway, But I do not wish him harm, and so I find myself caught within their struggle for power. He raises a bony finger. But neither Kolsk nor Raedric can resolve this crisis. They are but mortal men. We must turn to Bareth. It is the twinned god who will bring peace and balance to the souls of the Gilded Vale, and it is to Bareth that we must pray if we are to see Wybwin's legacy ended. Good thing his predecessor set expectations low then. How did you know I came here on behalf of Kolsk? Nedmar studies you quietly for a moment. My eyes may be failing me, but my wits have not. Kolsk has recruited what allies he can, and he has begun to strike against the keep in earnest. It has not been long since his latest effort. As I predicted, and as you can see, the attempt was a disaster. Kolsk is unwilling to grasp certain truths, nor does he understand what it is that keeps Raedric in power. He will need much guidance, if he means to take Raedric's place. I can only hope he would listen. I'm here to face Raedric. Will you help me? Nedmar's brow knit together in an expectation of mournful regret. I don't know that I can. I've tried to warn Kolsk and his people of the dangers. I have, in truth, tried often to sway them from their path. My efforts do not seem to have made any difference. Play nice with the fellow that wants to kill you and all your friends? Can't imagine why they wouldn't listen to a sound advice like that. Okay. Even poor Giaco. I thought he at least might be saved, but he is in Osiris now, fodder for experiments. He bows his head, setting his trembling hands upon the table. I have nearly escaped suspicion. Raedric is on the grip of grief, and he will not be swayed. He will bring his wrath down upon those poor prisoners. He shakes his head, and I cannot shoulder that guilt. I cannot bear it. Let's see. You mentioned Osiris' experiments? Osira. Bright young woman, corrupted by the teachings of the Animancers. She has filled Lord Raedric's head with blasphemous notions and false hope, preying upon his desire to guide his people. And he has been foolish enough to listen. Raedric has given Osira leave to conduct what experiments she will. Now the lowest reaches of the keep are fouled with the smell of rot. Who knows what souls dwell, lamenting in the darkness. Animancers. Aloth. Animancers. His lips twist into a frown. Why am I not surprised they're involved in this nonsense? I begged Lord Raedric's forgiveness on my acolyte's behalf, but I think I've only delayed Giaco's fate. He shakes his head. He is at Osiris' mercy now. Tell me about Giaco. One of my acolytes. I found him begging in the streets when he was but a young lad. I took him in. I hoped he might grow within the church, take my place when I grew too old to serve Lord Raedric. Bitter note enters his voice. But he took an interest in Kolsk's efforts, his vain rebellion. I could not keep him from leaving. And now he has joined Kolsk against our lord, and lingers in the dungeons. I fear he may have already fallen victim to Osiris' evil designs. Let's see. If I save Giaco, will you help me reach Raedric? I could give you means to enter Raedric's chapel below. That would put you beside his throne room. But I cannot risk it while Giaco is in danger. If you can see him safely out of Osiris' reach, I promise you, I will do my best to help you. He looks cautiously around the room. I beg you, avoid notice. There's a door just south of here. Beside the shrine to Bareth. It'll take you down to the dungeons. You'll find him there. I'll do my best to avoid bloodshed. Oh, well, I will see Giaco to safety and then return. Be cautious. Osiris wields powerful sorceries, and she has fondness for cruel traps. I don't doubt she will be a terrible foe if angered. Let's see. Gods guide you. Okay, well, so, sad thing is, we've already murdered all of his friends. So, while we're here, let's loot everything, because he doesn't give a damn. Looks like we're getting some nice stuff for it, too. He's got booze in this room. Now, we're getting a bunch of books, but like I said earlier on the previous episode... Ooh, he's got a little thing here. It's got money in it. Yes. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm collecting books, and then I'm probably going to have separate episodes that I'm going to sit down and, then I'm going to sit down and actually do like a reading episode of everything in order that actually is relevant to everything. Because there's a lot of books along the way here that are actually pretty good. I think in the future what I might do, not with this game, but with like games that come out, is actually try and turbo through them a lot sooner. And, actually try and, like, do lore episodes sooner than later. I might still do it anyway. I think the Pillars of Eternity subreddit at the very least would appreciate. So here's the question. We've got Giaco, and we would like to deal with him. So, on the previous episode, what we could do is... on one hand, we could kill the priest man for Asira. On the other hand, she's clearly evil. And I feel like the whole Gilded Veil being an issue is something that we, overall, will be solving. So you know what? Let's save. Oh, good night, homunculus. Let's save. Let's wander down in here. Let's murder her. Because let's be honest here. Necromancers, good god, they're freaky. Look, she's got, like, fleshy people creatures. Actually, come to think of it, I want to test this, seeing as it doesn't matter. Let's go into stealth. Have her do stuff. Switch it over to fast mode for a second, just because. No. Okay, they know she's here. There, so we do not have enough in stealth for this to matter. Alright. Oh, the barracks is done. Well, in that case, hello. So we've got these guys. Wow, there's actually a lot of people we can hire. Copper per day. Wow, that is actually kind of expensive. Is there a way to actually make money from this? Then again, yeah, there is. It's not a bad move. So, what's the difference between the clerics and the thugs and stuff like that? I don't know. Oh, interesting. Some of these are actually worth prestige. Are there any even ones? Like the skirmish archer's not a bad move. Let's do that, actually. Any other ones that are worth 1 and 1? These two. Because I might as well raise it semi-evenly. I should be able to make enough money that this isn't a problem. Okay, what else can I do? Bailey. Upgrade the ground further. Not a bad idea. Towers or prestige and defense. Southern curtain wall. Part of it is I would like to just waste all of my money on defensive stuff for a little while. Take prisoners. Ooh, the dungeons seem actually kind of important. Because take prisoners during your travel seems like it would actually have some interesting plot bonuses. Warden's Lodge, not super useful. The lab would be interesting. Okay, let's go with the prison for the time being. I actually really don't know what that's going to do, but it seems like it could be interesting along the way. Okay.
As you wish.
Huh. So if you hit her, her minions won't help her. Interesting. Oh, interesting. I can rest in her room. That is weird. Alternatively, we could go straight for the murder.
Your eyes.
Okay. And she is dead. That is a weird bug. I guess let's leave. How far can we leave? Yep, nope, that is a very strange bug. Hey, we got this thing too. What's this got in it? Oh right, we can't interact with it. Can we leave the area? If we can't, that's going to be a bit of a problem.
You cannot venture forth while in combat.
Well, this is a strange bug. Oh right, yeah, we can just go directly kill the minions. Duh. What am I thinking? I forget that that's actually an option for us here. Whoops. Alright, do we have speed mode on? Oh, there's no speed mode while in combat. Alright, fine. I guess we'll just do it manually. And I'm taking off my shortcut, unfortunately. I guess these guys are not going to take a whole lot of time to get killed. That's kind of nice. Oh, interesting. So the skeletons are actually considered like a group, effectively. Okay.
Dead on.
It's not a big deal. Okay. So let's get this business. We get her grimoire, we get the key. Thought so. And we get to loot her house. For better or worse. Like, honestly, I would have preferred to avoid murdering her, but at the same time, She's a necromancer who was going to turn that dude into a
Well?
thing. I don't even know. Necromancers are creepy and probably bad. Then again, I'm running around raising skeletons, so there's that. But I don't know, Giaco seems like a good guy. Maybe. Giaco. This young man's face is badly bruised and his gaunt form is covered in a threadbare shirt. He watches you, shivering with a measure of hope in his eyes. I don't know who you are, but will you help me? Gods, what have people become in this place? He gazes nervously past you at the open cell door. I don't think I can fight my way out. Let's see. You must be Giaco. Nedmar sent me to find you. Nedmar? Giaco gives a quiet laugh of disbelief. The priest sent you. I thought he'd leave me here to rot. He wasn't too happy. Well, when I left the keep, I told him I could do far more good with Kolsk than as an acolyte. He accused me of joining a band of outlaws. Guess we were both wrong. Let's see. What can you tell me about Nedmar? Nedmar's been a father to me, really. My actual father was a traitor, and he died in a bandit raid when I was young. I don't remember him much. I remember the days after, though. Stuck here in Gilded Vale, begging for food. Nedmar was a priest of the Scattered Gods back then. Took me in, and raised me in the church. I was going to follow in his footsteps even after he converted, and returned to the Twin God. But I started seeing what was happening in the Gilded Vale, what Raedric was doing, and Nedmar, well, he just kept saying things would work out. We had to stand by the Lord of the Keep. Kolsk was the only one who seemed willing to do anything about it, instead of, well, preaching. Smells sadly. So that's 2 fathers I've left behind. Let's see. I take it you ended up in here after assaulting the keep with Kolsk and his men. Yeah, he looks away. Seemed like a good plan. We got in without an incident. I knew the way, but we were surprised in the dungeons. And, well, most of us, well, you'll have seen some of them, fought them. Their bodies, at least, not their minds anymore, but their souls. That woman down here, Raedric's animancer, her name is Asira. I heard her speaking sometimes, talking about a cure. Lord Raedric calls her often, but she's not curing anyone. She's only turned men and women into monsters. I watched her take the others. I was sure I'd be next. Aloth shakes his head. Men and women turn evil to cure this Hollowborn? Madness. Let's see. Tell me more about Asira. There's something not right about her. A bad feeling. I knew the moment she arrived, things would take a turn for the worst. There's nothing good comes with dealing with animancers. Unnatural with a lot of them. That's a shame. She's the one that transformed them. Changed my friends into monsters. She said it was doing it for the good of the Gilded Vale. Or like the good of her coin purse and her sick curiosity. She's dangerous, and who knows what else she's got in her laboratory. I wouldn't go in there. She has a convincing manner. Spells, no doubt. Well, she's dead. Giaco breathes in sharply, surprised, before sagging with relief. Good! She deserved far worse. Maybe with her gone, the people she's changed can pass on to the next life. I hope so, anyway. Let's see. Brave of you to take her on. Those animancers, you never know what they're capable of. And you're free to make a run for it. Thank you, stranger. I have to get back to the fork, but first some food and rest. I think. Tell Nedmar. Well, tell him I still have the carving of the Pale Knight he gave me as a boy. I hope he is well. Good luck, and may the gods keep you safe. Oh, sorry about the Drarys. I like me some classic Western RPGs. This is why I usually stream stuff like Pillars of Eternity at the very end of the night, when everybody else has kind of lost interest. Now, here's the thing. If Nedmar even bothered to leave his chambers, he would realize that I have now murdered his entire following. Which, let's be honest here, makes me kind of feel like a scumbag. Where are they even going? They're taking the long way around. But, like, we murdered everyone in here. This entire keep is a ghost town. And I'm sure they're, like, supposed to be servants and stuff like that, but they are all dead. Acolytes and everyone. I almost feel bad. Probably could have actually just avoided killing them if I actually had a lockpick. But still, oh right, I'm supposed to be in, like, stealth mode, looking for purple stuff. I really need to actually figure that out. I don't know if my perception's high enough. But still, talk to Nedmar. Giaco is safe. He asked me to tell you that he's kept the carving you gave him as a boy. Nedmar's eyes widen. With sudden vigor, he rushes forward to grasp your arm. Oh, thank the gods, thank you. I did not think he could... Well, that is, I feared... He shakes his head. I did not want him to meet the Pale Knight so soon. Nedmar pulls himself away, collecting himself. Here, what I promised in return. He pulls a large iron key from the pocket of his robe. This will open the door in the scriptorium. He points west, and there you can reach the chapel. and Lord Raedric without encountering quite so many guards. Take this too. I have little wealth to offer. Better give something of use. I would entreat you, before you go, despite his shortcomings, Lord Raedric follows the gods with obedience, and he has Gilded Vale's best interests in mind. It may be that, with time, he can achieve what he desires. Please consider this before you turn to violence. I thought you'd favor Lord Kolsk as Lord of Raedric's Hold. I favor him as he is, a man of vision, but Kolsk has a hunger in him for rule, even if to good purpose. He is not led by his faith. Still, he is my friend, and I'm willing to assist Kolsk in restoring divine favor to the lands of the Gilded Vale. Should Lord Raedric fall, that is. Okay, goodbye, Mr. Dude. And we got some kind of item from him. Let's see what I want to do. Let's see, where am I from? I am from, eastern Massachusetts, sort of. Minnesota, really. Well, down we go. Down the secret passage that we already had, hilariously enough. So, this will dump us probably straight right on Lord Raedric. Yeah, I thought so. We'd end up right here. So, in fact, we have done nothing special. We've got the Raedric Defenders. It looks like we're going to be able to talk to Raedric first, before we get to kill him. Now, a couple of options. So I'm going to quick save. I don't know if we can take prisoners. It would be interesting to be able to throw him into our dungeon. Oh well. Raedric, let him approach. Flanked by a host of guards, all of whom regard you with mute hostility. Lord Raedric the Seventh observes you from his throne, clad in ornate plate. His eyes have a hollow quality. There's a pallor to the man's gaunt face that leaves his features showing stark against his dark and unkempt hair. There's a dagger discarded upon one stone arm of the throne. A thin, crimson rivulet worms its way down from the blade past Raedric's fingers, even as he leans forward to regard you with a piercing gaze. Eater, thought he'd be better looking, even with all the inbreeding. Though his face is calm, you notice Eater's hand straying towards his weapon, as though with a mind of its own. Raedric, it seems I have you to thank for the chaos spreading through my keep. I have expected some invading army.
It is unlike Kolsch to hire mercenaries, or foreigners for that matter. And you are not one of mine, so I cannot accuse you of treason.
So apparently you can send a ranger's pet to negotiate with Raedric. That's hilarious. And apparently Kolsk's name is actually Kolsch. Weird. Alright. His fingers close loosely around the pommel of the dagger, as if to ascertain if it's still there, then flinch away. Perhaps he ought to have considered such tactics sooner. You made short work of my guards. His eyes narrow. They were good and loyal servants, loyal to my coin, if not to me. They deserved a better fate than you gave them.
What has my cousin promised you? Some grand reward? If he had any resources to his name, he would not covet mine. And if he had any honor in him, he would not have tried this here, now, when I have lost so much.
Gilded Vale has suffered under your rule. It deserves a better leader. Raedric makes a low, huffing noise in disbelief. And you think Kolsch is that leader? What does he understand of what it means to be a Thane? He's gathered a meager assembly of illiterate farmers and scavengers to himself, and sends these in suicidal action against my guards.
You are a pawn in Kolsch's designs, and he has kept his motivations from you for a reason. I wonder if you understand what it is you do, or what you might accomplish if you were better informed.
Oh, good night, Foxy. Have a good one. So apparently you can stealth a ranger's pet and explore the map, and they don't trigger traps or combat like they're invisible. Oh, they don't even need to be in stealth. That is interesting. That's a weird bug. That is cool to know, though.
You have
Thank
proven
you,
your
One-Side Silver.
competence in your way. And had I such an ally, we might together put an end to Gilded Vale's woes, lift the curse once and for all, and in doing so, return us to a life where such strict measures are not necessary.
Huh. So here's the thing. We don't have any of the backgrounds here. I don't even know what any of these backgrounds would mean. That's interesting. So here's the question. I'm not in favor of this guy being killed. Then again, I don't know what I want to do, though. Because, like... Okay. Well, let's listen.
Good. Good. The stakes are too high for rash action. Be assured Defiance Bay will hear of your assistance to me.
I really wish the voice acting was actually full here. It's weird. It's like it's a bug or something, but still. You're in a position to put swift end to this rebellion. I've wasted too many resources on Kolsch, and paid the cost for it. Kill him, and I can refocus my attentions on this blight. Between the priest and my animancer, we can determine a cure. My family will be the last to suffer for this legacy. I don't know. I think it's nice that someone is there to distract him from killing the rest of my town, even if they're not the best neighbors these days. He has doubtless attempted to ply you with lies, hoping to pull you aside. He will permit you approach him, that he might work upon you further, and then you'll have your opportunity. You're truly mad if you think I would ever help you. Because, like, the reality of the situation is, like, I'm not going to do this. This dude's killing people. He's got a goddamn... remove the dialogue from the options. Like, the... voice acting entirely? I guess it could. Anyway, let's turn that off.
May the twinned god take pity upon your splintered soul, and scatter it to the winds.
Because, like, reality of the situation is,
Yes.
dude, gigantic douche. So, let's have main guy take on Raedric. Raedric's probably going to be tough. You go for these two, just because I'm not entirely sure what's going on. Wolfie, take that one, and Dagger Lady, go after this dude. Okay. We're having a party. Oh boy, this is an interesting party to be sure. Can you... Okay. So here's the question. A, we're getting hammered a little bit here. That's not a problem.
Yes?
You. Here's a question. Can we get some flaming hands up in this business? Let's actually run her over here for a second.
Hi.
And it is burning time. And it is safe to do. Perfect. Burn, baby, burn. Yeah, that was incredibly effective. Let's do that again. Let's keep doing that pretty much without end.
Curses!
Did it just not hit either of them? It might have. Nope, it did in fact hit both of them. Okay, that's good to know. And he's got one more casting of it. This is excessive, but very effective. Burn, baby, burn. Okay. Well, there goes that. And now Raedric is pretty goddamn injured. Perfect. Oh, this was comically easy. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into the options. I'm just going to turn off voice acting entirely. I would love for voice act... Like, I love the voice acting, and if it was consistent, or there was, like, a consistent narrator, I'd be really happy. Like, as though it were a book. But as it stands, this way we're not going to have to deal with, curse your eyes over and over and over again. Hello, that's an interesting greatsword. Well, we'll take everything. And apparently he had nothing. Really, is there nothing left here? Guess no. Oh, hello. There are purple things. Apparently you don't actually need to be in stealth for long to notice this stuff. Cool. Kolsch. We heard that he moved against the keep, and we arrived too late. But a moment earlier, and I would have heard his last dying breath. No matter. It is done. The tyrant is dead, and our village is free to move into a greater future. Gilded Vale owes you a great debt. I owe you a great debt. You have accomplished what I could not. Take what rewards you care to from Raedric's vaults. You have earned them twice over. Kolsch looks around the throne room, smiling. There's much to do. We must send word to the Earl, of course. Revoke the cruel laws Raedric has instated. But do not think I will forget your assistance. You have brought about a great change. Take pride. Everyone will remember this moment. Come, men. Clear these bodies from the hall. With that, Kolsch strides eagerly towards the throne. So, let's go take a look at him. And... nobody levels up? I swear you were right next to leveling up. Weird. It's like nobody gained experience from that one. Because earlier when I checked, he had like... Oh, right. It's split amongst everybody. Alright, let's talk to Kolsch for a second here. Forgive me, friend. There's much to do. Forget what he did. That's not useful for us. I wanted to, like, threaten him so he wouldn't, like, do stuff. Like, no more goddamn corpse trees. They're gross. Nobody likes them. Anyway. Trap triggered. Well, that was interesting. Minor ring of deflection. You know what? We should probably be in stealth mode for this one. If I'm dealing with this. Speaking of... Oh, God. Blood, still wet, runs from the woman's slit throat, soaking into the sheets below. Well, I'm glad I did not actually, let that guy survive. Holy shit, he is evil. Speaking of... Where's this room? How do I get in? How do I get in here? So... Oh, right, it's this door here that we couldn't open for some mysterious reason. Right. What? Oh, there we go. Now I can interact with it. It just has like a really weird hitbox. Confusing. So, effectively, that woman in the bed is, the woman in the bed is not Kolsch's, Raedric's wife. And because, you know, she couldn't have the proper baby. Oh, wow, we could have just walked straight through there. Unlocked and walked in without even doing quest stuff. Oh, well. Because she had a stillborn baby. Or, not a stillborn baby, a weird soulless baby. He murdered her. This sounds like great plan. Wonderful, really. But now we're getting all sorts of loot, so I mean, I guess it kind of all works out. That is a shame. Still. Down we go. With a very slow team, apparently. Now let's see what we've got in Raedric's hold. Because I would like loot and stuff. Where am I? What is this? What kind of dingle hop little area is this? What the fuck? Oh. Oh, this is the secret passage to get... Okay, there we go. So that's the secret passage to get into the hold if you do the Animancer, if you side with the Animancer. Okay, that makes sense. Kind of a shame, but still. Okay. So now we've got all the doors open. Now we can leave. That must be the end of the quest. So, next up what we could do is actually head down to Defiance Bay if I want to. But I think there's still one last quest area that I would like to go to. Because there's like a building in town that I haven't seen yet. Let's take a look at the construction projects for a second. It is 1 day and 21 hours. That's going to take a while. Okay, that's fine by me. So, as it's nice having the ability to not have to rely on lockpicks now. It is a nice feeling. So... Can't go anywhere else from here. So if we take Kednua, there might be some way of getting over here. I think we might have to do something else. So we could actually go to Deerford. We could go to the Nedmar Bridge. But I noticed this at Anislog's Compass. We could probably actually go this way. I'll check that out in a little bit. Let's see. Is this the last game I'll stream tonight? Yes, it is, unfortunately. Just because of time constraints, which is a shame. Maybe I'll do like a midday stream or something. I don't even know. Okay. Yeah, I think that might actually be my solution to Bloodborne. Stream it for a couple hours every like middle of the day. Or something. Hello, what is this? Okay. I know there's more grain in there, Trumbull. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat on our crops. The muffled shouting emerges from the wall. Do I really want to, like, voice act this, narrate this weirdly? I don't even know. No, I'm not going to do it. It'd be excessive. So the first of you drunkards comes through that door, gets a shot between your eyes. Gods hear me, Swainer. I will put you down like a dog. Come away now, lads. But we'll be back. Trumbull. We'll have fair prices, or by flame we'll have a reckoning. Okay, so it looks like there's a grain prices dispute, which kind of makes sense, honestly. And apparently we can get into the... We can get into this place. Okay, so an elven man stands before you. His relatively stocky build suggesting a life of labor. His pace is frail and drawn, his eyes wide. Behind him, a younger man and a woman exchange worried glances. The miller raises a club as you enter. Shakes violently in his grasp. Get back, if you value your life. Let's see, resolve 14. Put that down if you... before you get yourself hurt. Turnbull only raises his club higher. I mean it. I won't have Swainer and his lackeys threatening me in my own mill. Let's see. Thought you could use some help. Those people seemed pretty angry. Really? Turnbull sighs relief. Hylia's tits, I could use a friendly face. I take it you heard some part of what the crowd's asking for. Grain. As if it's got it all tucked away somewhere. Swainer's been egging that lot on for days now. They've been keeping clear so far, but, well, if things keep like they are, I don't know how much longer we've got before things get messy. Please, if you're not here on his behalf, maybe you could speak to Swainer. He won't listen to me anymore. Just explain that we're all getting smaller rations now. We're all making sacrifices. I had some other questions. Yes? Let's see. What was all that ruckus outside? Turnbull shakes his head. Where to begin? Swainer's whipped them up into a froth, going on about the grain stores. Claims I've hidden away most of it. All I do with the grain is sell it. I can't create it out of thin air, and I can't hand it out for free. I pay the farmers for the crops they bring in, and I sell what comes out of the mill. Most of it goes to the Black Hound, on the west side of the town, for ale. Swainer and his lot don't mind that part. You take a look at the fields on your way into town, the crop's blighted, and most of what I'm getting is from the farmers. Turnbull gestures to the stacks and containers. It's gone off. Rotted, though. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I've barely got enough good grain to go around. Swainer's howling after things he has no right to. Let's see. Really? If you don't want those people in here with torches, maybe you ought to stop lying to me. Turnbull blinks, taken aback. I'm not. Look, it's no lie. The stores are really low, and with so little grain on the ground, I had to raise prices for some people. There are folks in town that deserve far better than Swainer and his lot. People who have done more for the Gilded Vale. People like the magistrate? Can't do anything about that. That's just how it works. Maybe things are different elsewhere. Here, Raedric's men, well, they keep the village safe, so they eat well. Swainer's people are farmers. They gathered that grain for you. You sure didn't mind losing that grain when it was going into the drinks in the end. You know, like kind neighbors when they insult my son. Oh, they don't make like kind neighbors when they insult my son, go stumbling drunk through my crops. You think that they're the only ones that need to eat. Now the crops are sick and the wind's too weak to get the windmill turning. Our village's children are born as empty shells. That's not my doing. This place is cursed, and Swainer and the others haven't done a thing to keep the rest of us through the lean season. Let's see. Is your self-righteousness worth losing your family over? Turnbull opens his mouth to protest, but his expression shifts into resignation well before he finally nods. You're right. I've been trying to plan for the future, but we're in danger here and now. Fine, tell Swainer and the others I've reconsidered. Provided he pays the same as everyone else. He's welcome to his fair share. Let's hope we can trade for supplies real soon, or we'll all be in a bad way. Okay, so let's go talk to Swainer as well. Because... I mean, for starters, Swainer needs to stop drinking so much. But still. Let's see. I don't even know where Swainer is. Do we have, like, Swainer's house or something? Not the smithery. There, not road south. So he's probably in the Black Hound Inn, all things considered. So let's head all the way down here. And hope for the best. Like, we've got a lot of quests done. I don't actually know what's left in here. Okay, yeah. Looks like it is in the tavern. Thought so. But let's think. So that must be him? No. Oh, is he on the second floor? Probably is, because we got Kana. Actually, Kana is... Oh, my buddy. Ah, here we go. Cade is a marvel, an ugly, crumbly marvel. But even so, it's overshadowed by what it sits upon. But the keep itself can tell you much about the Adrian settlement. Rigid people. Okay, so this doesn't look like it's particularly useful yet. I could talk to them if I really wanted to, but it's not a high priority. Oh, it's on the bottom? Whoops. Bottom? Like in the basement? Or just in the bottom of that floor? Let's pop down and see what happens. Oh yeah, there he is. First and foremost, let's try something. Nope, doesn't look like you can have the doggy parlay with Swainer. Oh well. So, Gilded Veil positive 2. Well, talk of the town you are. And you designed to come our way. What are you here for, foreigner? A toast? Some applause? He raises his empty mug in mock salute. Alof narrows his eyes. Careful. Looks like they're cut from the same cloth as those rowdies who attacked me. Smells like it, too. I saw you outside the mill. What was that about? Gilded Veil positive 2. Swainer angles a searching look your way. That business? Well, let's just say that if you mean to help out around this place, you might ought to consider the common kith sometimes. Trumple's thinking he's the king of the town, on account that he's got the mill to his name. Thinks it's fair, given him giving us barely anything for the wheat we bring him. Then cutting our purses when we need to buy grain. This farmer is going hungry while that bastard gets rich off of their crops. Maybe he's the one you need to be asking questions to, stranger. We're tired of him playing Lord. Let's see. Look, there's no sense in threatening the miller. You have him up against the wall. Maybe you could ask some of the other villagers for help. Cerner's eyes you for a long moment, drinking deep from his mug. Then he sighs. You're right, things go on like they are. We're just gonna end up hanging from that tree out there. Tell Trumbull we'll leave him be. Don't know what we'll do now with crops failing. Haven't gotten a trade to speak of. Think Pasca needs a hand around the inn? Okay, so now we talk to him again, and... Interesting. So I've, like, resolved it on both ends, but neither of them realize it. This is weird. Alright, works for me. So now, now we've got this quest done on both sides. I'm not really sure what to do with it. I guess let's go back up to the mill and talk to the dude again and say, like, everything's doubly resolved, question mark? Everybody go be friends, yay! Seriously, why is everybody jerks in fantasy realms? That is one thing I like about sci-fi games. Usually you don't have a whole lot of, like, these weird land... I don't know. Like, I would love to see a sci-fi CRPG kind of like this that has, like, similar methods? I don't even know. Well, let's talk to... Oh, never mind. So... because we resolved it the other way around. Wait, how did it... what? Against the grain, okay. Well, that's confusing. I might have actually broken this. Well, this is weird. I'll figure it out. Let's just scoot all the way back to the inn, again, and see what Swainer has. Those people are not happy with me, though, which is kind of a shame, but it's like, I don't know. Nobody's happy. I might have broken the quest. It means I might actually have to reload or something. But then again, the truth of the situation was he was actually lying to us, so there's that. At the very least. Now let's talk to Swainer. Wow, yeah, we actually did break the quest. Huh. Now nobody's happy with me. Yeah, I thought so. Alright, we actually sequence broke this quest here. Which means either I skip the quest completely, or I reload from a semi-previous save and play back through the game, which honestly I'm not particularly looking forward to, but I think I'm going to have to do it. Which means a bit of a shorter episode, but whatever. Because, you know what? Gotta do what you gotta do. So, I will see you guys in the next episode. What? There's a wait. I need to offer him beer. I can do that? Talk with the innkeeper. More about the Black Helm. See what you have to save. Let's see what she has. Okay. So is it food? Well, let's go buy some beer and see how it works. Buy beer. How many beers? All of the beers. Trade. I've got 30 copper. That's no big deal, especially when I sell all the illicit goods. Okay, so how do you offer beer to anyone? Inventory. Kind of like quick slot that. Okay. So we got a quick slot on him. We got beer. We activate the beer. Yeah, it is totally broken. Okay, so I will see you guys in the next episode when I've gone back, redone everything, and you know what? I might actually see if I can get that mod so we can switch Glod Hammerson over to Glod Fisticuffs Hammerson. Because, well, I think it's punching time, and I think punching time has been well overdue. I don't even know. Okay. And you know what? This time I'm going to take the third option, talk to the innkeeper and stuff like that. Either way, like I was saying, see you guys in the next episode of Pillars of Eternity. And as always, thanks for watching. Why is this dumb? Okay. So, one other thing. Have I ever heard of Vanguard of Valor? Never have. But one other thing before we go to bed. So, we had to reload because of all of this. I wanted to ask this man about the dagger before we kill him. So, let's see. Point to the dagger. What happened there? Raedric turns his head slightly to regard the dagger. There's a sudden careful stillness in his expression. A just sentence. His voice wavers. And in that moment, a pang of grief crosses his face. Ygritte knew. She hid the verses from me. The tokens, she knew that I would make them. The scattered god poisoned her against me, made her deaf to my instruction. Only when our son was born, that hollow thing, that monster, then we both knew her crimes, what her crimes had wrought. Raedric turns a baleful look upon you, jaw working, face flushed and splotchy with emotion. It could not stand. He brings a hand up, suddenly, towards his temple, obscuring his face. What does Kolsch know of sacrifice? He would indulge himself, let us succumb one by one, and suffer Bareth's punishment, until the final soul goes to its keeping, never to return. And Gilded Vale is but a barren land. You murdered your own wife? Your own child? I carried out the sentence. Would you have given me give her to an executioner? In the Direwood we see to our own justice. Raedric sits on his own back on his throne, his knuckles white upon the armrest. And that thing, that silent aberration, that was not alive to kill. His dark eyes narrow. Keep your recriminations, trespasser. I've done my duty. Well, that is pretty ridiculous. Let's murder him. Anyway, Raedric's frown deepens, but he only nods. So be it. Raedric rises from the throne. I think you already said this. Okay, now we beat the crap out of them, but we've already seen this. So, as I was saying earlier, see you guys in the next episode, and we will continue on. I just wanted to see what that said, because I did kind of miss that option earlier. Either way.